Angry House hearing yesterday. That was the governor of Michigan getting grilled by Capitol Hill. Mary Bruce, ABC News correspondent in Washington, D.C. It was it got heated, Mary, didn't it?
It got heated, and beyond that, this was a brutal hearing. Lawmakers ripping into the Michigan governor and also the EPA administrator, Gina McCarthy. These are the two officials really, at this point, at the center of this crisis, as lawmakers yesterday tried to assign some blame, tried to get to the bottom of who here is really responsible. Now, in their defense, Michigan Governor Snyder blamed career bureaucrats in Washington and even in his own state. And the head of the EPA faulted Governor Snyder and other state officials, everyone pointing the finger back and forth, ultimately admitting mistakes were made, but no one at the end of the day taking full responsibility.
So Michigan really didn't find out how big of a problem it had or decided to even talk about it until Virginia Tech came in and started doing some studies on the water.
This was a long time coming. This crisis, remember, state officials switched Flint's water supply to the Flint River 2 years ago, essentially to save money. And it took a very long time for officials there to realize what really was happening. Now, in his defense, Governor Snyder said that he took immediate action when he did learn that the water was contaminated. He told lawmakers that, officials at the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality had repeatedly assured him that the water was safe, when in reality it had these dangerous levels of lead. But officials in Washington, and certainly people who live in Flint, they're just not buying that. They say that there's someone new and that someone should have been acting much sooner to deal with this problem. And it's important to note there is a bit of a partisan divide here that we saw yesterday. Republicans are pointing the finger squarely at the EPA, saying their oversight failed, that they should have done more, they should have intervened sooner, while you're seeing Democrats taking aim really at Governor Snyder, saying ultimately the buck should have stopped with him.
Yeah, really depending on whose ox is getting gored. Many people want to defund the EPA, but then when you have lead in the water, then they blame the EPA for not doing enough. So Rick Snyder, Republican, EPA under the Democratic control of a Democratic governor. Was it all partisan, or was there any Republicans critical of Rick Snyder and any Democrats critical of the EPA?
There certainly was enough criticism to go around. Everyone was pretty much criticizing both of them. But when it got to the point of people calling for resignation and things like that, going that extra step, it really was a pretty stark partisan divide.
We should also say that the water still is undrinkable, correct?
Absolutely. And that's a very important point here, because yesterday I spoke with a lot of families, hundreds of people who took a very long bus ride overnight to be there in that hearing room, residents of Flint who wanted to see in person this hearing, to hear someone give them some real answers. And they really didn't get the answers they were looking for. And in fact, several families that I spoke with said they want someone to be held accountable. They need to get to the bottom of this problem. But more importantly, they need a solution, because right now they still don't feel safe in their own homes. They're still bathing with bottled water. In fact, one woman said that the best thing about coming to D.C. for the hearing was the fact that she could take a shower, take a bath without the fear of sitting in poisonous water.
It's one of the most amazing things. A major city in America unable to use their water for months, if not years. That is Mary Bruce, ABC News correspondent. Mary, thanks for checking in.